Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the HerStory Online Summit. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia, bringing you our next amazing speaker. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your amazing story with us after this short commercial.
Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Marina Stoyanova, and today I'm here to share with you a story of breaking barriers to freedom, tripling your income, and as a whole, a quantum leap to your high-level success. Today I want to address this presentation, this summit to the high achievers, the woman who is already creating success, but you still feel there's more waiting for you. I know that right now you're making 20, 30, even 50K, or regardless the number, forget the number, but you know there is a next level. A level that gives you the freedom, the impact, and the life you deserve. You're here to this wonderful HerStory Summit because you want a business that scales without changing you down. Imagine breaking free from the constant hustle, the endless cycle of life launches, sales calls, and non-stop work. Scaling doesn't have to mean more hustle. In fact, now is the time to rewrite the rules. But let me first introduce myself. I'm Marina, and my story started much like yours. I'm ambitious, I'm a high achiever, I'm constantly running, I'm constantly evolving, constantly developing myself, and I had a high-level corporate role, building brands to multi 6 and 7 figures in an international company, reaching goals, and on the outside, I looked as if I have the dream life. From the outside, everything seemed successful. But on the inside, I was totally unhappy. I knew I was building someone else's vision. And no matter how many milestones I hit, something felt incomplete all the time. It wasn't me. I was in that place where I had this vision, the dream of creating something lasting and truly impactful. I wanted to express myself, but as you know, there is this lead in the corporate world, which is not only not letting you have illogical income that can double and triple each and every month, but it is also totally not satisfying. And just before I quit, I had a very heavy burnout that was caused of all of this cutting of my wings. I was feeling like a bird in cage. I had no personal life at all. And this is a very important piece of your life. I just want to mention it. Being there, someone who didn't have time for personal life, I was completely exhausted physically, mentally, and emotionally. My whole wardrobe was in the car because I was away from home most of the time. So I was sleeping in five-star hotels, but inside of me it was not that luxurious. Then came the moment when I decided to step out and to start from scratch. I was someone in this corporate world, in the industry. There were people who knew who Marina is when I was saying my name. Everyone knew me, knew what I'm selling, and you feel as if you have your back, as if you've got your back. So I had to start from scratch. No brand, no name, no one knew me, completely new environment of the online space. And everyone around me was telling me I was crazy to leave this life, this job, and that kind of security for just my vision. But despite all of that, and I want you to hear me right now, I just knew I didn't need proof or evidence to trust myself. And I know you're like me. I didn't wait for validation. I just boldly stepped into that decision, betting everything on my vision, skills, and ambition. Now it sounds a little bit funny. Of course, I had my idea. Of course, I had a plan and a structure. But the first thing in my plan was to take a break from this constant hustle in my job. Because as I told you, this heavy burnout, it had sequences on my health, of course, and it was a big challenge to overcome it. So there have been months that I took just to sleep and to eat. I'm not joking, but this barrier became my my fuel, because giving up just doesn't exist in my brain and vocabulary. When someone tells me, what if it doesn't happen, I'm like, what do you mean it's not going to happen? In my head, this just doesn't exist. And I know you're just like me. There are no barriers for you, there is no limit. And the most important qualities that you need, regardless of where you're currently in your business, and if you have business or you're still in corporate, that totally doesn't matter. What you need is the resilience, emotional intelligence, trusting yourself, and boundaries. This was what I was learning throughout all this journey after I stepped out of my corporate and started my business. 4 years already, because I had to learn some of these lessons the hard way. But what's important is that I didn't stop, I didn't quit, and I built a business that gives me freedom that I was so heavily craving at that moment. And of course, when this business journey started, there was still a lot happening behind the scenes. I want to share another very emotional moment for me, something that is really vulnerable, and I almost never share this. But soon after I had started my business journey, I had already my first 10K months, that mark that is so difficult in the beginning. Shortly after I started my business, I totally hit a rock bottom. Didn't have a single client for 2 months. It was in the summer, people were on vacations. I had finished my projects with my clients, and there was a period of 2 months, month and a half to 2 months, where I didn't have any client at that moment. And on top of that, I was trying to recover for a very toxic relationship that completely ruined me, my self-esteem, my confidence, and I just hate it every single day. So it was that dark that I thought I wouldn't make it through another day. But somehow I found the light within me. I got myself together, and I did it for her, who wouldn't survive without me. And I became her, the woman worth millions and the person who loved me the most. Regardless if anyone was there for me, I was building her from the ashes. This is an emotional story, but what's the lesson for you? The lesson for you is just 1 year later, actually just a couple of months later, I got my next clients. So this is the normal cycle. I got back on track with 6 figures. I found the love of my life. And throughout all these 2024, I had my highest cash months. I took the most time off and spent it with my men, while my clients make multi 7-figure months. You can see that throughout this journey, there are so many lessons. Of course, this is long story short, but the essence is that life is going to happen to you at any stage of your business. You will be going through ups and downs, both in your personal, emotional life, maybe love life, maybe health. You are going to learn how to set up boundaries. This is a process. This is your own journey, and this is your story. Why I'm telling you this story? Because there are so many entrepreneurs out there, and especially female entrepreneurs. We are in this constant hustle. We are constantly trying to prove ourselves, to be more, to be her, that next version, that next level that we deeply desire, and we are all leading with our hearts. But you need to know that life is going to happen to you regardless of your income, regardless if you have 0 clients or you have 200 clients in your masterminds or whatever you are doing, or your job, regardless. What you need to take from this as a lesson is that your resilience, your emotional intelligence, and your boundaries are the most important qualities you need to develop. There are so many people out there who are giving up when they see the first barrier, but you're here to break these barriers. You're here to shift that hustle and to live your life for yourself the way you want it, to build the business you want, to have the love of your life, to be happy, to thrive. You are not supposed to be stick to your business all the time. I have been there. I have been working 24/7, and I want to tell you, this is not what makes you happy. Money is not going to make you happy if you don't have the love, the healthiness, and you are not enjoying your life outside of your business. I know you love your business. This is what drives you. And it's the same for me. But today I want to talk to those of you who know you're meant for multi 6 and 7 figures, but you also need the structure and the strategy to make it happen on your terms. So you also have the time for your personal life. You do not need to have some dramatic stories like mine that happened to me in the last 5-10 years. But I know how many of you are feeling in the same way. You have the same push, you have the same life stories happening behind the scenes. Still, you're the one who is making the big moves You're hitting the milestones, but there is something holding you back. And I know what those barriers look like because I have been there too. With that background of my corporate life, and after I quit, it's more than a decade of scaling brands and businesses to multi 6 and 7 figures. I had covered different roles, and I'm also a part of Forbes featured digital agency. All of this luckily helped me to set up a business model that is scalable and at the same time gives me freedom. But as ambitious as you are, you need to realize that scaling sustainably requires much more than a drive. It's not about working harder or being everywhere. What you need is a structure and a powerful sales system. It isn't doing more or hustling, but you could scale your business without this draining you. And here is why. Because your family needs you, your partner needs you, and moreover, if you take anything from these 30 minutes, take this. You need you, regardless of if you make 6, 7, or 8 figures in your business per year. In order to have you powerful for yourself, because if you are not feeling 100%, nothing else is going to get the best version of you. This is why I'm here, and this is why you need the structure and the strategy for your business. Because we need your journey to be sustainable for the growth required. And this is not just mindset. This is a strategy. This is a structure. And these are systems, sales systems. I know you need a sales system that would let you scale without constantly hustling and without you being chained to the business every hour of the day. And meanwhile, you want to build a 7-figure business. But for this, you need a strategic framework allowing you to automate, grow, and position yourself as the ultimate choice for premium clients. And this is my 7-figure high converting sales engine. I will tell you what are your core barriers since we are here to break these barriers. Let me give you 3 barriers that you have right now so you can recognize if this is for you. The first barrier is the endless cycle of live launches, sales calls, constantly needing to show up just to keep the income steady. And it's exhausting, right? You're present for every dollar, for every step, for every client. What happens to your family? What happens to your daily routines? Where is this? Is this in your calendar at all? Because there was time when this was not in my calendar. My self-care was there was no space in my calendar for my self-care. The second barrier we want to break is that for many of you currently, your business model depends on one-on-one work. This is limiting your potential and your capacity. Because this is hard to scale beyond a certain income level, you're often trading dollars for hours. And it feels like this is the limit. You have this income ceiling. Barrier number 4 is the draining hustle that leaves no time for you. This day-to-day, what should I post today? Content-driven approach, showing up all the time. You not being able even to have a normal dinner with your family because you're trying to make a story every 15 minutes that you have. So this makes it nearly impossible to double and triple your income. It looks like it's not possible for you. And this is actually, I'm going to give you a bonus barrier. It's not you, it's your sales system that is not set up for scalability. You're leaving money on the table when you're not implementing the high converting strategies that I can teach. And just one more time, I want to tell you I have been there, and also all of my clients that are coming to me, they are coming for this one thing. I want to make more money, but to have the freedom. I don't want to be constantly glued to my business. So you feel as if you're stuck in the grind, tied to a model that feels like a hamster wheel with no end. But what if I told you it's possible to break free and triple your income without more work? And this is exactly my genius, designing sales system where every piece of what you're currently doing, your messaging, your offers, your sales automation, work together in a strategic flow. So your business grows without you constantly being in the driver's seat. This is how I can help you. This is my 7-figure high converting sales engine. It's a system that didn't just drive income. It's your silent sales partner, your invisible sales partner, a high level automated system that operates around the clock. It allows you to scale massively, bringing in clients on repeat who are not only ready to invest, but you don't need to hustle, you don't need to convince them. And what's the impact? Instead of being tied down, you're going to be able to focus on what truly matters and scale month after month. With this system, my clients triple and quadruple their sales in less than 30 days. It's so illogical. That's why I love it. It's meant to bring true freedom. You can be on vacation, as I told you. In 2024, I took the most time off ever, and still I was having 5-figure days. So it's time for you to embrace the next level identity. I want to focus on you because you're here for transformation. You're listening this speech and you are here on this wonderful summit because you want to change it. Maybe you still don't know what exactly you want to change it, but you're here because you have this inner burning desire that is telling you there is more out there. And since you're here, you're not just here to keep hitting the next milestone. You're here to create quantum leaps. You're here to triple your income and step fully into the power of a high-level entrepreneur. Imagine this for a moment. A business where clients don't need convincing. They are already aligned with your values, with your brand, with what you're teaching. They're drawn to your exclusivity. And they're just investing. So that's the reality we want to create. When my clients come to me, they are ready to move from ordinary to extraordinary result. They are stepping out of this reasonable growth and leap into exponential illogical success. They want the next level that doesn't make sense, just like me a couple of years ago. It totally doesn't make sense on paper, but it feels right. It makes sense to you. So you're the woman done playing it small. I know this is a cliche, but that is so true. You don't need a proof to believe in yourself. You are both resilient and fully ready to own your worth. And here is what is going to happen to you when you step into this mindset. You're going to become selective about who you admit to your close proximity. You are going to stop chasing clients who aren't your ideal client, and instead you're going to attract high caliber clients who see your worth without you needing to convince them. What's the effect? You raise your standards so high that anything less than your true value doesn't even enter your world. This is when you triple your prices. This is when you set up the system that doesn't require you. And you are already living a completely different life. The shift begins with a decision. To scale to 7 figures, you don't need to be everywhere. In fact, you need to step out. I'm very serious. You don't need to be accessible to everyone. You don't need to do everything by yourself. And you need to step into your exclusivity. So,
Wow.
invitation to you.
Wow, Marina, I don't know if I have cut you off, if there's still more you want to share and how people can get hold of you before I start asking you questions and breaking down your presentation.
Go ahead because I can speak forever.
Oh, I absolutely love it. So, you know, just listening to you speak, and now this is like the second time we've done a real deep dive into your work, your job, how you're helping entrepreneurs. The one thing that really stands out to me is
Mhm.
that you get business owners to learn how to work on their business and not in their business. A lot of entrepreneurs who are starting out a new business, they're normally a one man band. We are multitasking and doing so many things at the same time. Can you explain this concept so that if there's somebody out there who's just started a new business or is in a business on their own, they can get an essence of what it means to work on your business and not in it?
That's a wonderful question. I will give you a personal example. This time last year, my one-on-one was full. I know this is a dream for some people, and it was a dream for me too. I'm not going to pretend this was something just like that. It was built, of course, and there was a system in place that is going to drive clients from entry, well, since they enter my world with my sample offer method, and they're going to upgrade to long-term high-ticket mentorship with me. But this is exactly where I didn't leave room to work on my business because I was constantly in my business. So what happened was that I was giving all my power. I was pouring into my clients, teaching them these systems that are scaling their businesses to multi 7 figure months, but I had little room to scale my business. So again, there was this point where I felt capped at my income level. And this is exactly what this should means to you. You need a scalable business model, meaning that you should not be the person doing it all. And the sooner you set up this sales system, my high converting 7 figure sales engine is when you're going to be able to have this silent sales partner that I said, that is doing the sale for you. You're not required to be constantly launching. You're not required to constantly show up. You This is a set and relax funnel. You set it once and then it works for you. And it's not complicated. I know many people think funnels are complicated, but the sooner you set it up, since day one, I'm not joking, the sooner we set you up for this scalability and for driving sales on repeat and having your clients upgrading to high ticket long term programs of yours, this is when you're going to have this recurring revenue and your nervous system counts down, because okay, this month I have 50k months, 100k months guaranteed. Every additional sale is on top of that. This is how we
Yes.
scale to 100k, to 100k, sorry, to 200k, to 1 million months.
I love it. Now, is there a process that you use to pre-qualify the clients to get to that level? Because a lot of times, most of us, when we are marketing, we're advertising our businesses, it's like you throw this big net into the ocean and you pray that you will catch the right fish, you'll bring in the right people, right? But you end up finding that your net is bringing in the frogs, the tadpoles, the old tires, the plastic. Is there a way that you've designed to pre-qualify exactly who it is you want, the person who can afford those high ticket prices that you're offering?
I just love that analogy. This is maybe the best analogy I've ever heard. Yes, there is a way. This is when we position you in your messaging, in your content, to
Yes.
speak only to that ideal client. Because right now, what happens to you is that you speak to everyone.
Yeah.
So you're speaking, your goal is not to attract the right premium buyers, but you just want to make a sale. And that's not bad. I'm not judging anyone. We all have been there, because when you have bills to pay, of course, you just want to sell. But at some stage, when we are speaking of massive scaling, this is the
Mhm.
moment where you need to set yourself up for exclusivity, meaning that in your high ticket long term spaces where your clients have access to you, it's limited, it's exclusive only for those people who are just like in dating. You're not marrying just someone, you're marrying the person who is 100% fit for you.
Perfect.
You're a
Yes.
match 100%. So
That
that's
is
why I said, this seven figure high converting sales engine, it lies on one cohesive strategy of messaging, your offer suite, how is it set up for scalability, and the sales automation.
mm,
Because we need to make this work together, and this is when we are seeing this illogical growth. Like, my clients are unlocking 1 million months in 30 days.
wow. So tell me, what limiting beliefs do you need to release to fully embrace your vision as an entrepreneur? Because mindset,
That's a wonderful question, because many people think I have one limiting belief, and that's the hinder for me. But
yeah,
what you actually need to realize is that at every stage you're going to have some limiting belief. For
yes,
example, when I quit my corporate job, as I told you, I was pretty much someone like people. When someone says Marina, everyone in the industry knew who are we talking about. Like, I had a name, I had my personal brand. Then when
right,
I quit, I had some doubts about, but who is going to hire me when they don't know me? I don't have a brand. I'm like, I don't have brand awareness, you know. But then when the first couple of clients hired me, I overcame this limiting belief.
Okay.
Then at some stage when you hit, let's say 10, 15, 20K months and it feels a little bit heavy, you're like, I cannot scale this thing.
Yeah.
How do I do it? And then when you overcome this challenge, there is something else that comes to your mind. We are humans, and my clients who are also having multi 6 and 7 figure businesses, we're I'm coaching them daily on some limiting belief that they have. For example, I had a client who had a 2-year-old child that didn't want to sleep exactly when she was about to go live. And I loved it so much because in the end, she just had her child in the scene doing yoga with her. And this
Oh,
way, she was directly positioning and speaking to the woman who is telling herself and has this limiting belief, I'm a mom, I have no time for sports.
yes.
You know, it's not even, you don't need to say it. You just are a living,
Yes.
breathing embodiment of what you are teaching.
Yeah.
And that was also a moment when I needed to coach her, like to tell her, look, this is actually in your big favor because this is going to position you so powerfully.
Yeah.
And at every stage, you're going to have some limiting beliefs. Like, for example, I face things like a client doesn't believe in a single strategy, for example, or they just don't like something. They think it's not going to work like
Hmm.
we expect, or the opposite. We expect something amazing, and sometimes it's not that enormous as we expect. So this is a normal process. We need to normalize these limiting beliefs
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
work on them. You know, you need to be able to analyze yourself and just to think, okay, um, if if you wish, sit, take a piece of paper and write down, okay, what's not working, what is my hinder, like, is there something that I don't believe in, or it's
Yes.
an obvious reason that you can just shift like this and it's going to happen.
Yeah. 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 It's just fascinating to look at how mindset can change everything. So, how do you currently handle setbacks, and how can you reframe them as opportunities for growth?
So, I also have some days where I don't feel perfect. I
Yes.
want to say this is normal. And for high achievers, like, we are not allowing ourselves to feel this.
Yeah.
We are not allowing ourselves to sit down for 2 hours and, just think, reflect, or just relax.
Right.
And this is something that I'm doing for years already. For example, in the morning when I wake up, I love to have time only for myself.
Right.
And some days, it's very productive. Some days it's just I sit and watch in one point and just being by myself. Because as I said, you need you.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
And
just being present, right?
yeah,
Without too much going on.
yeah, it's very difficult for me to turn my brain off, but I somehow learned to have this time for myself
Yes.
and to stop for a second.
So you
And
actually
this,
have to make it a priority.
yeah, in the beginning when I start, it's like every new habit. In the beginning, I was doing it on purpose, and it felt difficult, as if
Yes.
you're starting a heavy workout. But then it becomes natural, and
Yeah.
this is not something luxurious. This is a must. And especially we as women, our biology is different than men's biology. And I know we are in this female hustle energy as a whole in the world, but we need to learn to respect our feminine side and our feminine energy,
Yeah.
because this is the beauty, you know. We are different, we are not men, and that's
Yeah.
the beauty. I'm not saying that we need to be in the victim mindset and wait for from a man, no, but also we need to embrace that beauty of being a woman.
Mhm. I love it. So now, what systems or strategies have you been avoiding that could ease your workload?
So first of all, as I said, also set up this seven-figure high converting sales engine that helps you to get the clients in, to sign them up without needing you, to have them upgrade and buy all your spaces, upgrade to high ticket long term spaces. And this is something that is loading maybe 80% of your daily operational work. It
Right.
also puts your mind in this normal functioning way. You're not constantly hustling, you're not constantly worried. It makes everything that you have, your messaging and offers and sales system, work for you. This is the first thing everyone needs to set up,
Yeah,
regardless of the stage. If you make 10, 20, 50K months, 100K months, once we set this up, you're doubling and tripling your income in no time.
that's
Um,
wonderful.
the second thing is the scalable offer suite. So fully filling your one-on-one, like everyone having access to you, is not
Hmm.
what you want.
Right.
Your one-to-one needs to be exclusive and very high
Yes.
ticket, because your know-how is worth it.
Your knowledge. Yeah. Yeah. And you need to know the value of that.
Yeah, again, we are not trading time for money.
Hmm.
You are selling something that you had invested for years in
Yes.
yourself, in your brain, in developing your skills, in building your frameworks. It's years of testing and seeing what works the best and the
Doesn't.
fastest.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you give someone, you know, the shortcut and all this know-how. You should value yourself.
Hmm. All
So
right. So
I'm
in
not
saying
saying,
that,
sorry.
how do you position yourself as the ultimate choice for these high caliber clients? That's a very difficult thing for most entrepreneurs to learn how to do.
Yeah, you know, I know this could sound a little bit fluffy, but first of all, as I said, you learn to value yourself. When you learn to value yourself and you know that this know-how worth millions, because it's not only the courses that you buy, for example, what you pay to build these skills, it's also the efforts,
Yes.
the sleepless nights. Uh, it's the when someone says you're lucky, no, it's not luck, it's hard work on
Yes.
yourself, and you're constantly evolving. As I said, it's also developing emotional intelligence, setting up your boundaries. All this experience is what others are paying for.
Right.
So when you start really appreciating yourself and you know you are exclusive, this is when you stop discounting yourself first. Because
Yes.
something that is missing oftentimes and it's not being said, you're selling yourself first.
Yeah.
Then you need to know that the transformation that you deliver to your clients is what they are paying for.
Hmm.
They are coming to you because you can deliver that transformation. And then comes the positioning, your messaging, how you are positioning yourself as the only exclusive choice. This is when you need to show them in one piece of content that you know your stuff. You
Yes.
have done this so many times on repeat, and you are now giving them the shortcut in as little as one session, for example, or as little as 4 lessons in your program.
I love it. So, what steps can you take to amplify your visibility without overextending yourself?
So again, everything lies down to messaging. But
Yes.
that's why I'm saying it's so important to set up this sales system, because you need to focus on amplifying your brand with other activities, with
Yes.
podcast opportunities, event opportunities. Of course, the traditional methods with more reels, better messaging, better hooks, but you should not be glued to your phone 24/7 and hustling every single step of your day, every single minute of your day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because your brand needs to evolve. Every year you need to evolve. Every year you need to find more opportunities to present yourself, like press releases, like being featured in, let's say, magazines or podcasts or summits. You need to look for these opportunities constantly. It's not just you do it once and it's done
So,
forever.
yeah. Yeah.
But uh, what you could do is, instead of being stuck in daily operational work,
Mm-hmm.
this month to month, day to day hustle, you
Yes.
can set up systems. And now with AI, it's so easy. I know, I'm like, we live in the best era possible, I think.
Yes.
No, we should use these systems. They are developed for better productivity. I know many people are resistant, but look at it as, this is here to help me.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so true. Now, as you know, my last two questions are going to be a time experiment where one, I'm going to take you into the past and we're going to go and have a conversation with that young woman who decided to amplify her life, to work smart, not hard. If you could go back and give her three nuggets of wisdom based on what life has taught you up until this point, what will those three nuggets of wisdom be?
The first and most important lesson, and what you need to know, is that there is no one else that's going to save you. But this is a positive thing, because you should not rely on anything external. You have the light and the power in yourself. This is what you need to remember. You need to develop resilience. This is the second thing that is extremely important. And your emotional intelligence is what is going to cover you all the time. You need to be able to lead yourself first if you want other people to follow you. But you also need to be resilient for yourself. You need to take care of you. And the third thing is boundaries. Learn to set up boundaries to protect yourself because of the first two things.
Absolutely fantastic. Last question. We're now going to go into the future. And we are going to go and sit with the 90-year-old you. I first of all want to know, what legacy do you want to leave with your business? And if you could go and speak to the 90-year-old you, what will you say to her when you finally meet this wise woman who's led you to this point?
Oh, that's so. I never thought of this actually, but it's going to be that I'm so proud of her for bringing the mission to so many people out there in the world, and being able to build their businesses, to have time for their lives, to invest in properties, to also for them to build generational wealth and to feel safe and secure. And I'm going to tell her I'm so proud of her that she was so brave and she always goes for herself.
I like to ask that last question, Marina, because a lot of women don't realize that the wisdom is already in us. You
Mhm.
know, not everybody can be an entrepreneur. You are inspired to go into business because you have something in you that drives you. And we have to trust ourselves when we make these decisions, right? To go into the world of business and excel. So when you know that it's in you, you step in, you won't know everything, but you meet people like you, experts who are helping you with the marketing, experts who can help you with your website, your messaging. You don't have to do it alone. So I
Yeah.
have your website at the bottom of the screen. How else can people find you? What are the social media platforms that you normally play on?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. The Marina is the Biz Mentor is my handle on Instagram, so feel free to follow me there. We are also going to leave links here in the description, so you can just use this. And I will be happy to support each and every woman because, as I said, we need to embrace our feminine energy, and we are not born to hustle, we are not born to be constantly working. And although I know it's a mission for all of us, like we have it and we lead with our heart, we still need to pay attention to ourselves and to have time to go out under the sun and enjoy time with our family, friends, or just by yourself.
So it's not all about the hustle, ladies. Make
Mhm.
sure that you are building those boundaries around your personal life and your work life, and that you're learning to work smart and not hard. I think that's the biggest lesson
Absolutely.
that I have got from today's presentation. Marina, it's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you today, having you speak at our online summit, sharing your knowledge and wisdom with our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. And I know that there are many women who are going to be inspired and activated. So, this is why I'm so happy to be here too. Thanks for the invitation.
It's an absolute honor. I'll be back again tomorrow, everybody, with yet another amazing speaker. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks again, Marina. Absolutely wonderful to hang out with you. Very, very inspiring story.